welcome to this week's episode of Hers and Hers. This week we're going to be doing a special episode called Word Vomit. So you guys already know I'm Nik.
And I'm Tay.
So welcome.
So yeah, word vomit. So the concept of this is that we're basically, me and Nik talk a lot. And
unfortunately.
People don't realize, they think we're just doing it for the podcast. But like, if you get in a room with us, it's like rapid fire. No one else is going to get a turn.
You know what I like? You know what else I like so much about us talking so much? The way that I feel like your brain moves as quickly as mine does.
Absolutely. We're both more intelligent than the majority of people.
Yeah, you guys are stupid. Not the listeners,
bitches.
though. Y'all are in top 5.
We love y'all. Y'all are smart because y'all are tuning in to Hers and Hers podcast.
What they say on The Help, you're smart.
You are smart. You are beautiful. What else did she say?
You are important.
The only thing I remember about that movie is that she shit in some pie.
It was a dookie pie.
She ate the dookie pie.
She fucked the crust up. She
if
almost
I
ate
ever
the tin
piss
that
you
it
off
came
to
in.
the point where you want to make a shit pie for me, that's why I don't eat everybody's food.
I don't even feel comfortable peeing in a cup for the doctor. So there's no way, because there would be no way that I could dookie in a pie or dookie in a cylinder.
And then bake it into the pie. That house was stankin'.
Not only that, but I'm praying. I am praying that she threw those Tupperware out. Please God, tell me she threw a pot away.
If she washed that Tupperware out and used it again, you know, back in the day, black folks was saving plastic bag. Well, you know what? They probably didn't have plastic bags back then. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, niggas had paper bags.
This week, we talking about all types of bullshit. But to start off, we're going to talk about Euphoria. Speaking of shit. So I don't usually watch Euphoria.
You gotta explain the concept of Euphoria, the show of Euphoria, for those who don't watch. It's on HBO Max. It's starring Zendaya. She was in Spider-Man, Far From Home, and all the Spider-Man films.
Yeah, it's teenage trauma porn.
Period.
So it's a bunch of teenagers. Some of them are getting fucking high. Some of them are having sex. That's the part that I don't like the most.
Having sex and getting high, which is
And really, it's hard for if you're like me, then it's hard for you to watch, you know, Euphoria, because you're basically watching like people who are playing underage people do things that you just wouldn't want to see an underage people do as a grown ass person. You wouldn't be in those spaces to even witness that.
Facts.
So it's hard for me to watch personally. I think that I just have a lot of personal trauma with like adults being in spaces that they just shouldn't be in. And that's why I have a really hard time with it. But I've seen the first 3 episodes of the first season, and I've seen 2 episodes of this season. So like I think I've seen like the 3rd and 4th episode of this season.
That 4th episode, bitch. That shit was.
So I'm lost.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, I can explain it to you because I am one of those people. I hate to say this, but if you guys know me personally, or if you guys ever follow me on social media, I do this thing where I kind of get obsessed with one thing, and I get so submerged in it that I will literally know the mother of every director, like personally on Facebook. God. So I'm like, if you have any questions about Euphoria, I can definitely answer them, because unfortunately, I just started reading about the stuff. And I'm just like, damn, this what's his name? Sam Levinson. I think that's the director of the show. He is a sick Negro.
Do you feel like he's purposely marketing the show to like young adults, or is he trying to create like a nostalgic moment, or is he just literally like a freak?
Let's start from the top about how I feel. I think the nigga's a freak. But I don't think that he's necessarily marketing it towards children. I think that it's going to appeal to kids because of the actors. You know, he's using notable actors who have been seen.
Yeah, like
in
Zendaya's not my generation. No, she's like my younger sister's generation.
Not only is Zendaya not our generation necessarily, but a few of the other actors are featured in Netflix films. Yeah. And then the girl who plays Lexi, that's Jude Apatow, the guy who directed most of all of Seth Rogen's films. That's her daughter. That's his daughter.
Yeah, that's crazy because... Yeah. And then Zendaya, to take it even further, is in a Spider-Man movie that is literally PG.
And then
that
Jacob,
is a PG movie.
The dude Jacob, the dude that plays Nate, who's crazy ass, he is actually in that movie on Netflix with the Asian actress. It's called To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Oh yeah,
he's the love interest, and that shit is strictly marketed to teenagers.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that he's marketing it towards teenagers. I feel like
happening.
It's just kind of happening.
He has to be aware, to some extent.
I think that he might have. I don't think that he's necessarily. I think he's a creep because I never seen a white nigga with a 4C beard. So I think that's something. What? His beard.
I have never seen him.
His beard looks like the back of my neck. So I'm just I'm in deep confusion because I was like, I've never seen a white man look like. He just looks like he's just been through it.
That's crazy.
And then his eyes look like he hasn't slept in years.
Oh my God.
But
I need to look at him now.
just to get back to the original thing that I was saying, but I don't necessarily think that he is like marketing his television show to children. I just feel like it's the same way that happened with us with Skins and all of that, you know, television that we were exposed to as kids. It's kind of like, I'm a teenager, my mom bought an HBO Max prescription.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of happening naturally, like organically. Then not only that, you're gonna put fucking Zendaya in there, who just was doing Casey Undercover and all that other stuff, and she's, you know, she's in PG.
Like, what was that, 3 years ago? Like, come on,
she was in a whole bunch of
Disney Channel.
She was in a whole bunch of PG stuff, so of course her fans are gonna be interested. They're gonna look up Zendaya and be interested in that type of television.
Yeah,
but Euphoria to me, I don't know. Euphoria just reminds me of Skins.
Yeah.
But I feel like one thing I will say that the writers of Skins did, if you guys aren't familiar with Skins UK is a UK-based television show, basically kind of like Euphoria, except they had groundbreaking writing.
And like, Skins was just less graphic for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like the kids were kids. Like, okay, I could see a high schooler, like, okay, yeah, we know high schoolers have sex. That's fine. But in Euphoria, I feel like these high schoolers are going into sex like as if they are just so experienced with it and they understand everything about their bodies and all these things. I feel like on Skins with the sex scenes, like, it was very awkward. It was awkward and obvious. They were fumbling, you know, they didn't really know where to touch, like things like that. And I'm like, okay, this is like, it's kid friendly. And then also, I'm not seeing like a teenager or someone playing a teenager like spread eagle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I get that.
It's graphic.
I feel like they're I don't know, they're kind of overexposing a lot of, I don't know. It's just it is like more hypersexualized. But I think we were having this conversation the other day in our group message, and I was talking about how hypersexuality. I don't have an issue with hypersexuality or anything like that. But I will say that a lot of the things that we consume nowadays is more blatantly hypersexual because of how progressive our society is nowadays.
Yeah.
So when Skins UK came out, I probably had to be in 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Skins UK was
and
aired.
It's a UK show.
Not only
they're
that,
going to be a little more formal.
Exactly. So they were filmed. That's why I think that they had less sex, but it was still so pivotal to where Skins US got canceled.
Yeah.
Because America, Western society, we don't necessarily glorify sex, but we're kind of open about sex, but to a certain extent.
I feel like we create an
very
environment where people have like fetishes more so than they can have kinks.
Exactly.
So it's like it's like, okay, yeah, I do this thing in the dark, but I would never tell anyone about it. And I have all these other things to try to mask over like what it is that I'm actually into. When in reality, I feel like if people were able to be open about their kinks, but you can only be open about a kink if your kink isn't harmful.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes what people represent as kinks can be harmful.
Exactly.
And I feel like Euphoria, unfortunately, does a pretty good job of like glorifying like harmful behavior and harmful choices that people often make, like even outside of like teenagers. This show is about teenagers, but there's a grown-ass man on there who is just really fucking tripping.
Yeah, he's that last episode though, girl. He gathered everybody. He was like, and another thing, he said, Marsha, come back here. You seen that shit?
He can't gather nobody.
He did it, but he was. But I'm just like, that's the fucked up part about it. You can't be a predator and you can't be having all of these pre-existing issues and then jump into scolding your family saying that they hindered you sexually. But I feel like the thing about, just to get back to it, the thing about the Euphoria thing is just like America has such a complex relationship with sex and sexuality. Yeah. So I feel like we're still people think, here's the fucked up part about it. Western expansion tricked us into believing that the American mindset and the American dream was something that needed to be spread globally. Mm-hmm. And the fucked up part about it is when people come over here, they're promised so many different things. So they're tricked into believing that America is the bee's knees. But we're so conservative and so deeply religious over here that's why Skins UK is seen like taboo, even though we have shows where people
that's why sex is taboo.
Exactly. Skins, that's what I'm saying. We have such a complicated relationship with sexuality and expressing ourselves sexually. That's why, and
even just presenting sexually, like if just having like less clothes on is just like this huge like, oh, you're like so empowered.
We're
like you're
so
doing
conservative.
this big thing,
like this one that spray the nipple, one that share the
it's like spray the nipple. I didn't want a bra. Period.
I don't even have breasts. My nipples been free since 2006.
I literally can't remember. Like, I think I remember times of wearing a bra, but I can't remember a time where I've consistently worn a bra.
Exactly.
So when that free the nipple movement came out, I was just kind of like, bitch.
Because I guess the problem is
nipples ain't even really like.
But that was the white.
Nothing to be
that
acting
was
crazy
more
over.
or less
like,
white feminism, which is mostly them aligning themselves.
Babies
with
need nipples to eat.
Exactly.
They're not some crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Thing.
Like,
I don't know. It's interesting.
We're trying to destigmatize things instead of just teaching people how to embrace things. And I think that we're destigmatizing things, and it's coming off as a false sense of progress.
Yeah.
Because Euphoria could.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Euphoria could do a better job of teaching children certain things and stuff like that. But the reason why I didn't have that much of an issue, I mean, of course it is problematic. Of course, I'll never deny that. But the reason why I didn't have necessarily like a huge issue with some of the things on there, because it was showing like how complicated actually being a teenager is.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a teenager, I did think that I knew everything. I didn't have sex until I was like 19 or 20, but I thought that I knew everything. And some of my friends were literally having sex like they was literally fucking like, okay, I'm grown all the time. I remember getting in trouble with my friend's mom because she wanted to stay out to 2 a.m. We were 16. And she was telling her mom, I'm a grown ass woman, this and that, bitch. I'm fucking this and that. Her mom was like, you're literally 16. But it's
you
like
have no idea.
But at that time, we felt like
you feel like you know everything.
You feel like you know everything. So that's why I feel like, I don't know. The only thing I would say is that, I mean, they're doing a great job highlighting Rue's addiction and just really being transparent about how difficult addiction can be and loving somebody who is suffering from, you know, like a substance abuse problem, how difficult that can be.
For me, I feel like when I watch that show, like, if I weren't well read and I didn't have actual experience with these things, it would be difficult for me to come to those conclusions.
Exactly. And
so
that's how I feel too.
And I was watching Rue have that addiction, I might think like, wow, that's so fucking cool. Maybe I'm going to fucking try heroin. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wouldn't think like, oh, like that's so sad. She yelled at her sister, but that's not really her. That's her addiction.
I feel like that's like
I can come to that conclusion. But a 17-year-old who's never seen addiction before,
with no life experience,
they might be like, oh, that was mean of her to yell at her sister. She's such a butthead, but they won't even be able to correlate like, oh, it's because of her addiction. And when you're addicted to something, it changes who you are, and you have a chemical imbalance and blah, 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 all these different things. You know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of adults don't even have enough of because looking at the conversations.
They don't have enough cognitive function.
Not only that, but I feel like a lot of adults don't even have the range to really understand that she is acting out, not necessarily because she's an asshole or anything, but because of her addiction.
She's suffering.
Exactly. So it's like a lot of the discourse that's happening like online, I'm just like, you guys have to understand, like you were like this. Some of these niggas, I'm like, I went to school with you niggas. You was dumb as marbles. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, this is what happens when you are suffering from addiction. Or when, even the thing with Cassie, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with her or whatever. Like it's,
with Nate and Maddie.
Nate, Maddie, and Cassie. She just had an abortion.
Yeah.
For somebody who's older than her.
Who just shouldn't even be having sex with her.
And not only, well, he's a college freshman, so he got to be like 18, but she's 17 or 18. But he, not only that, he got sexually assaulted in one of the episodes, and she watched him get sexually assaulted by some of his teammates or something on the football team. So she's dealing with a lot of her own personal trauma, and a lot of people are villainizing her. I mean, I'm not agreeing with her or nothing like that, but a lot of people are villainizing her because she's, you know, being intimate with her friend's ex or whatever. But I'm just like, sometimes your trauma can manifest into you not even having self-awareness about how you're harming yourself
and other people.
Exactly. So it's, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a lot of layers to it, and I like that they're kind of, you know, like expounding on why the parents are how they are and how this is affecting the kids. Because your childhood trauma is going to make you into a shitty individual.
Yeah. And I can understand why it's marketed to people our age, you know, people in their 20s, because we probably experienced so many things in high school that we haven't dealt with yet. And maybe it can be like a healing moment for us to just like see it from an outside perspective and then be able to have these kinds of conversations like, okay, I've dealt with something similarly. This is how I handled it. This is what I can learn from their experiences.
I don't know who the target audience is. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know anymore.
I don't know who the demographic. I think that their demographic got to be like 14 to 87. Because I'm just like, I don't know who they're trying to target.
Yeah, because like the situations that are happening with Cal, like only like a 50, 60-year-old man with kids and a wife. And
just so you guys know, Cal is Nate's dad, who was another one of the main characters. But Cal is y'all just got to get into this show.
Yeah, he's a predator.
Yeah, he's a fucking creep, crazy. Super creep. But I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like I just feel like this goes back to the conversation that's had like almost every year on every podcast, on every television show. Like, who is monitoring children? Like, and how can we keep them from like, should we even keep them from seeing things like this? And like, if they do end up watching something like this, like who's going to explain to them like the detailed and deep concepts of, you know, Rue's addiction, Cal being predatory, Nate's anger, Cassie's obsessions, Maddie's just kind of like,
she's hella nonchalant.
I guess she would just say, yeah, she's just like her aloofness. Yeah. Like Kat's just like total detachment from like everything that's happening
underage
around
sex
her.
Work, like all of that shit.
It's like so much going on. Like, who's gonna explain that stuff to kids? And like, I hate to be like, oh, it starts in the home, because it's like a lot of times people's parents just don't be home because they can't be home.
Yeah,
because they have to fucking go to work.
Niggas' parents,
in order to not die.
Yeah, physics facts. Capitalism is a bitch. But niggas' parents don't be home, for one. And not only that, and I hate to be this person, but you have to parent your kids. Like, when I was a kid, I used to watch all of this shit. But my thing about it is my mom had conversations with me about these things, and unfortunately I was exposed to certain things to where I didn't seep into these certain lifestyles. Like, I was around people who were promiscuous and underage. I was around people who were having sex with older men. I was around people who were doing drugs. I was around all of that type of shit, but I was never that child because I knew that that wasn't for me. And I feel like once people, like we were talking about this on our last episode with OBO, just like the sense of validation, like certain kids are not gonna seep or peer into certain things when they have an understanding of self. Yeah. So it's like, if you have an unmonitored 17-year-old, you shouldn't feel like your 17-year-old is gonna get into doing drugs and get into being promiscuous just because they watch a television show. Yeah. Bitch, what type of parenting are you doing to where you can't trust your child to be alone with the TV and Wi-Fi? You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course, children are gonna explore just to explore, because that's just what children are. They're just curious. But it's like, once you have those honest conversations and you're transparent with your kids, I feel like it's less likely for your kids to kind of stray. And even if they do stray, it's okay to have uncomfortable conversations about certain things. I feel like that's okay. Like, at that level of transparency, like, your kids can be exposed to all types of stuff, drug addicts, cracks, selling drugs, and still not want to get into that. Yeah. It's about your parenting at the end of the day. So when they came out, when Dare released that statement the other day talking about Euphoria is encouraging drug abuse and stuff like that. Euphoria can't, nobody can waterboard me into smoking crack. Let's start there, nigga. Like, nobody can make me do anything that I don't want to do. And even with the most peer pressure, I was peer pressured to have sex when I was younger, and I didn't do it because I didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that I wasn't ready for that. But that comes with a sense of self that's going to be implemented by your parenting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if your kids don't have direction, you probably don't have direction.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree with that, because I feel like I was a child who had a lot of direction, fortunately. Yeah. And I was very self-aware in high school, so like I was introduced to a lot of things that I just did not
Niggas
try.
be like, hey, Nick, you want to smoke some weed?
And then when I did finally decide to smoke weed, like I didn't smoke weed, like I maybe tried weed once in high school and I just never did it again. Yeah. But when I decided to smoke weed, I was a grown-ass woman.
That's what I'm saying,
and my mom was like, it's a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug. And I'm like, I'm kind of grown as fuck at this point, and I'm not being influenced. No one's telling me to smoke weed. Like, I want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? So that is a really good point. Like, if you're able to parent your kids when you do have that 15 minutes between your 60 hours a week and your sleep schedule and making dinner and putting food on the table, like, take 15 minutes to just ask your kids some questions, but not in a a way where you're making accusations, more in a way where it's kind of like, hey, like, what'd you learn? What'd you learn this week? Like, what TV shows are you into right now?
There's so many different
like,
things, the ways you can reach
Are there any
children.
shows that you would want to watch with me? Like, I'd love to watch a show with you sometimes. Like, it's really just that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my mom worked a lot. And it was like, my mom always put me in front of literature. My mom took me to the library when she could. There were so many different things, like opportunities that my mom, when she did find time, she tried to make sure that she was present enough to know that you don't have to do this. She was like, there's lots of girls out here doing that type of stuff, but that's not you. Yeah. And even if it is you, I still love you or whatever, but I just want to let you know, girl, you wasn't raised like that. Yeah. So when I went to my friend's house and she had gotten in trouble for having sex or whatever and staying out to 2 a.m., like that, her mom didn't even tell my mom. Yeah. She was like, I know the type. She literally sat me down. She said, listen, I know my daughter. And she said, I know how my daughter behaves.
I know she on bullshit.
Literally, she said, I know how my daughter is. She said, I know that's not you. Yeah. And she, you know what I'm saying? She looked at me and she said, I know that's not you. She said, baby, don't get caught up with my baby just because she's lost. She said she's been through a lot in her life and I'm trying my best right now. but I know that's not you.
That's good that she had, like, you know, that's good that she was able to say that to you, because a lot of parents, it's like really easy for them to be like, oh, my child is being influenced by something outside of themselves.
That lady looked at me and she was like, listen, I know I'm fucking up as a mama. She was like, that ain't got shit to do with you. She said, don't you hang, she said, you don't even hang out with my daughter no more.
Don't even hang out with her no more.
She literally was like,
you're good.
She said, I am the problem. Literally. And I had never been around a black woman who actually was open and vocal about her.
Yeah.
She had missed some steps in her parenting, and that's why her daughter was behaving like that.
Yeah.
And she was just saying, like, I understand, and I'm trying to reach my daughter as best I can, but I don't want you to be subjected to being exposed to something that's not in your character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like, Euphoria is just one conversation. There's so many other shows on television that just should not, just have to be monitored.
America is run by
even
pedophiles,
for grown folks.
So
on God,
that's why I can't disagree about your opinions about Euphoria, because when I seen that picture of that nigga, he looked like the Night Stalker.
I'm just the type of nigga that just like, I dig way too deep. Like, if I see something and I feel something, then I start to just believe that all of these things, these scenarios that I made up in my head are true. Like, I'm like, he probably like keeps kids in his basement or something. I just think of all types of terrible scenarios.
Your feelings are valid.
Jeffrey Epstein, be wrong.
Jeffrey Epstein literally was.
I could be right.
Jeffrey Epstein was literally the middleman for people to pick up underage girls. So you don't, and these people
that have been released, but we won't even get into that today because we will be here all day.
But more word vomit. Next subject.
Another random thing. Me and Nicolay, we love Twitter. It's another part of us just talking too much. When we're not able to talk, we just tweet.
Sometimes I like to text too much.
We tweet, and we just can't fucking stop talking ever. Yeah. And we do spaces on Twitter all the time. If you guys haven't tuned in,
it's like Twitter Clubhouse.
We usually do them on like Thursdays and Saturday nights. Sometimes Sundays.
Yeah, whenever we're feeling vibey.
Yeah, but usually anytime between Thursday and Sunday, just like follow us on Twitter and you'll know when we're on there. But the last Twitter space that we had, we did discuss this a little bit. There's a viral tweet right now. And it's a video.
Cigar Lady.
It's Cigar Lady. So if you guys don't know,
Cigar Bae.
Cigar Bae.
Her name is look it up. It's a hashtag now that she does repeatedly. It's called hashtag Cigar Bae now.
Yeah, hashtag Cigar Bae. So if you guys don't know who she is a young, beautiful, black, single, professional woman who went on a date, and she had been talking to the person for a couple weeks prior to the date, and she decided to bring them a gift. So she brought them a gift. And in this video, she explains it in the video. So if you just type in hashtag Cigar Bae, I'm sure you'll find the original video. But she's basically saying how she found out that the guy likes cigars, and she found that out through just having conversations with him over the past couple days leading up to the date. So she knows that her dad is, he smokes cigars.
He's a cigar enthusiast. Yeah.
He's a cigar enthusiast. He has a cigar collection. And so she went to her dad and mom's house, and I'm assuming that she has a great relationship with them. The fact that she can even go to her dad and mom's house and get a cigar. And then her mom was like, you can't just give him no raw cigar. You got to put it in something cute. So she wrapped it up in like,
it was a brown paper bag and some old twine. Her mom and her dad helped her put it together.
And it was cute. It looked like something that you get at like a home goods store.
Or a Pond City Market.
Yeah, Pond City Market. They sell bullshit like that all the time. So she gave him a cigar wrapped in twine and a paper bag. And she was just basically explaining why she did it and how she likes to make a good first impression. And everybody started calling her a pick-me, calling her, saying she's doing too much, that she's super thirsty, that she must she must have a lot of first dates because she's,
intimacy subjects are my favorite things to get into.
And the femininity coaches were coming at her like, you're the prize. Why would you give a nigga a gift? Like, what's wrong with you? Blah, 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 all this stuff. And this woman is obviously very secure in herself. Obviously has a good head on her shoulders from what we saw.
And a great relationship with her parents.
Great relationship with her parents.
You can tell it to her that's naturally how she is.
She listens when people talk to her.
Like, her character is directly like an example of how she was raised. Yeah. Because just to be that attentive and that considerate, you had to be raised by good people.
In a moment where she just walks in the house and said, hey, mom and dad, I'm going on a date with a guy that likes cigars.
And her dad's like,
here's a cigar. Her mom's like, let me make it look cute. Like, that's so awesome. Like, she's blessed. And it's interesting to me that people saw her as this like thirsty, insecure, attention seeking person, because for me, what I got from that video was that she was a secure person who's not afraid to,
Be vulnerable.
To be vulnerable. Like, you're giving someone a gift the first time that you're meeting them in person. And you might not ever go on a second date with that person, but she just sees that as a simple, kind gesture.
That's how I
feel like a lot of us don't see things as, that simple.
People have issues with intimacy because people can only show you things that they can see for themselves. So somebody can extend me a level of kindness that they don't extend to themselves. So I think that a lot of times when it comes to intimacy, a lot of people are only used to physical intimacy. And when I say physical intimacy, I only mean sex. So it's like people are only ever used to sex and romance. So it's like when it comes to
those two being associated with
people
each
are
other.
people are only used to intimacy being about physical intimacy and only romantically related to things. So it's like when it comes to people having genuine intimacy within friendships or interpersonal relationships, people cannot simply fathom somebody wanting to be kind to you with no ulterior motives. And I think that a lot of it was just mostly projections. I think that people just don't know what it's like. I have a friend that brings me flowers. I have a friend that every time he sees me, he lives in a different state. Every time he sees me, he'll buy me food. He'll buy me a beer. He'll buy me something because he's thinking about me. That's just the type of person that he is. And we have never, ever even expressed liking each other, sexual, anything. He has never spoken to me inappropriately. That's just the type of person that he was. And I used to be that type of person where I only thought that I could get that level of intimacy for people that were my romantic partners. And it wasn't until I met my friend and we were platonic for the last 6-7 years that it taught me that I could extend these levels of kindness to anybody in my life if I'm thinking about them. And then that's when I, started to reassess my opinions and my perspectives on what it means to be a friend to somebody. And I think that when you're, nurturing and trying to foster new relationships, it's perfectly okay to be vulnerable and transparent. But I think that because of the generation, I'm sorry, not to be that bitch, but because of the times that we're living in now, people don't know how to digest or receive things. And it's difficult for them to see it being done for other people, especially as people of color and black people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fear associated with it because, like,
niggas scared to be embarrassed.
Literally, like, the day after the Cigar Bay thing came out, there was another tweet that I don't know if it was viral, but we discussed it in our group chat, and it definitely had a lot of traction behind it. I don't know if it was
which one was it?
The one where the guy was like, "See, platonic friends can go on like friend dates." And
that one.
And then he brought her the flowers.
That was the day before. That was a few days before Cigar Bay.
It was like the day. It was literally like the day after.
I thought the flowers thing was before Cigar Bay, and then we talked about Cigar Bay, and I was like, see, I remember, I think the flower thing happened before, and then the nigga came out and said he was fucking, they was fucking, and then they ended up fucking, because it was a viral picture of a girl and a guy going out getting super dressed up, and we was arguing about it.
And it was like 4 pictures.
We was arguing.
In one picture, it's him handing her the flowers. In another picture, it's them like on the date, and they're like eating food at like a restaurant that had like a super romantic ambiance, and they were like, we're just friends, like, and friends can platonically go on dates. And like we were all basically saying like, okay, in this specific scenario, like, we don't believe that this is just platonic, because he, not only are they on the date, but they also got dressed up super cute. They also went to a romantic candlelit dinner, and they also were, they gifted each other things. And I was like, okay, all those things combined makes me think that like there's something more going on. And it's funny because like I found a tweet, I went down the thread and I went to his page, found his Twitter, and literally like 3 hours into the date, or maybe 3 hours into him dating the person, because he talks about the platonic date, and then 3 hours later he's like, when y'all lock eyes, and something about smashing. They were fucking.
Yeah, and I don't know.
But I do think that you can receive flowers from your friends and it not be weird. I think that you can go on a romantic date with your friend and not be weird. I've done candlelit dinners with my guy friends, not on the same night that they gave me flowers, but I've done candlelit dinners because that's just the restaurant that we wanted to go to. We got the best cake that we liked, that we had ordered on DoorDash one time. And now we go into that restaurant and we just find out that it's romantic. It wasn't like we planned, like, we gonna go to this romantic ass setting and be with each other. You know what I mean? And I've definitely had people bring me flowers, girls, guys, my mom, my dad.
I just think, I don't know. I just think
flowers just aren't that weird. And everyone has different love languages.
I feel like, that's why I was saying, I think that's the fucked up part about it. People think that flowers are mutually exclusive to just gifting them to women. And not only that, but they assume that every woman likes flowers. But me, when it comes to me thinking about intimacy.
They assume that women like gifts.
Exactly.
Some people don't give a fuck about
some people are not
all.
that type of people. So it's like me, I don't know. My perspectives on romance and gestures and things like that, it might be a little different than other people's, but I can understand where people are coming from because I was there too. And I think a lot of times when you come from a place to where you have a difficulty digesting things and receiving, a lot of us have very large issues with receiving. And I think that people are going to automatically assume that someone giving something to you has ulterior motive because they've never been gifted things. They've never been exposed to simple gestures of kindness. And I think that even everybody in my life, even if we're not necessarily romantic, I like to let people know that I'm thinking about them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I had a differing opinion, because I'm just like, I care about all you guys. If I saw that you guys were having a bad day, if I saw that you were having a bad week or a bad day, I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you something that might make your day better, whether or not you're a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying?
I think in that particular conversation, I think everyone else was just like, because I understood where you were coming from, even though we didn't agree completely. I understood where you were coming from, but that's because we're friends.
Yeah.
But I feel like the other people that were in the conversation, they were completely unable to see where you were coming from, because I think that they were so fixated on that specific situation where he did bring her flowers, and then we found out that they were fucking.
Yeah.
And then also, I think like some of them in their personal lives, like, not to put their business out there, y'all don't know who's in this group chat, but you know, I think some of them in their personal lives, like, they use like gifts and they value those things as romantic.
Exactly.
Like, they do see like candlelit dinners as romantic. They do see flowers as romantic. They do think that everybody who is nice to them likes them.
That's what I'm saying. And
first of all, that's a problem.
That's why I was saying that, bro. This is why I was like, that's why I said, let me leave this group chat for a second, because I was like, I understand where I'm always understand everyone's perspectives.
I will say that I do assume that everybody I meet is attracted to me.
See,
and
look,
that's my own narcissism.
Yeah, I don't think like that though. I think that's where like things in my head. I don't know.
But I also don't feel like it's a bad thing to be attracted to a person, and I'm also not going to make anyone feel weird for being attracted to me.
I understand.
So me thinking the world's attracted to me, I'm not going to be like, oh, let me put them on ice because everybody think I'm sexy. I'm gonna just keep being friends with niggas.
Yeah.
But other people, it's like, oh, once they find out that someone likes them, if they don't like them back, they think that they have to just like start, like, I have to be evil to this person because there's no way they like me. I don't deserve love. Fuck that bitch.
I'm at a point in my life right now where I'm hyper focusing on fostering and nurturing and building community for myself.
Absolutely.
So I feel like I'm trying to be that extension of kindness that I didn't receive. So it was at one point in time where I thought I was thinking the same thing, and I was just like, well, everybody that likes me, all these niggas like me, rock, I'm everybody type. I'm just like, no, that's like, I don't know. That was hindering me friendship wise because I wasn't allowing people to show up for me in places where they really could have value in my life.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I kind of put down these glasses and actually look at men for what they're able to give me instead of what I want physically and romantically, then I will have better friendships. You know what I'm saying?
Normalize attraction too.
Yeah.
Because being like, I have guy friends that I think are so cute, but am I gonna try to
it's a human
pursue
thing,
them
bro.
in any way? No,
Yeah.
I just think that they're attractive, and it's normal to think they're attractive. That's why they come outside. Is it you don't come outside to be attractive?
Listen,
I don't know. That's why I come outside.
If my friends is getting haircuts, my friends are looking handsome, they looking good, I'm gonna let them know. And I think that that's just the weird thing about it. I think that people think that friendships have to turn into shit. No, bro.
You don't gotta bust it wide open for everybody you attracted to.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't have to do that.
I don't know. That's why I'm just like, I don't know. People aren't used to certain things, and I think that instead of shaming people for things that you don't understand, maybe you should shift your perspective and be open to learning different ways to experience things. Right. And I feel like once I learned how to experience things in a different form, you know what I'm saying? That's when I realized, like, damn, how many niggas have I lost because I'm trying to put my pussy on everybody? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even trying to put my coochie on everybody. But if I did,
trying to put that pussy on the side.
You're welcome. Okay. I'm just like,
No, for real. Yeah, I think that I feel like a lot of people see maturity as being able to fuck people and then be friends with them afterwards. But what I see maturity as is being attracted to people and not having to have sex with them. Figuring out what their value is outside of how you feel like they can be pleasurable for you or work with you romantically.
Exactly.
That's where I see maturity. But a lot of people are like, I'm grown. I had sex with like 10 of my friends. And it's like, okay, bitch.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Cool.
I mean, yeah, there's some guys who
if you have, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's necessarily like, I don't think if you can't do that, that you're not a mature person.
Exactly. Because
I do think that if you can't not have sex with everyone you're attracted to, I think you have a problem.
There's a lot of niggas that who I've been heavily attracted to that I'm like, I'm gonna have to dap this nigga up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even get that nigga no love for real. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It's okay.
You know, people have value outside of being able to have sex with you.
Listen,
I promise you they
niggas
do.
are horny as fuck. I don't know what about this quarantine has made niggas at peak horniness, but niggas are at a point right now where they're just leaking like slugs. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but niggas just...
Yeah. And I feel like people are not ashamed of it anymore. Like, the tweets that I've been
niggas
seeing,
be like, I'm horny, who gonna rub my dick? I be like, sirs,
why did you tweet that?
Sir, it's 6 a.m. I'm on a jog.
Don't you have like a Finsta or
nigga,
something?
You don't want a green juice? Like, Jesus. I'm just like, I don't get it.
That nigga did not sleep. I know he didn't.
Stroking himself.
Okay, so how would you say that you like there's different love languages. Obviously, we know this. What's your love language and how do you like express love to people? Like, I'm just curious.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I have all the love languages are my love language.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not one of the bitches.
That is the case for some people.
But not only that, but everybody's love language is every love language, but to certain degrees.
Yeah, so like each one is a different percentage.
Exactly.
Which one is your highest percentage?
What is it? Is it gift giving, words of affirmation,
physical touch,
and then gift giving, words of affirmation, physical touch.
I forget. I don't fucking know.
Acts of service. And then...
quality time. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a Gemini. So you need to spend quality time with me. You need to give me affirmative speech. And then physical touch, I need lots of I need to be intellectually stimulated. So it's like, if you can't give me words of affirmation or actually tell me, have an actual conversation with me, then I'm just not going to be able to be with you the way that I want to be with you. And quality time matters a lot to me too. I think that because I've prioritized the words of affirmation and the quality time, niggas have stopped giving me gifts. To all niggas, please give me gifts.
Get a bitch something. God damn.
Literally. Because I was thinking about that with the flowers and stuff like that. I was like, damn, people don't give me flowers and I love flowers. I literally love nature, all of that type of shit. But I'm just like, I haven't received flowers. I can't even think the last time a man has actually brought me flowers.
Yeah.
And I've dated a few people, so I'm just like,
plant or something.
Not at all. And I just think about that. I'm just like, damn, I really prioritize loving niggas for their personalities. This is the last year.
You gotta stop doing that.
This is the last year.
Just like I said, they have value outside of sex. They have value outside of their personalities.
Yeah,
it's
so
typically in their wallet.
That's usually what fucks me up. Niggas, I'll always end up liking people for who they are, and they really kind of give me the short end of the stick. I'm not gonna say that's a act that's punishable or whatever. That's just more or less me setting better boundaries with my partners.
Yeah, and I think you can still like people for who they are, but just have like
standards,
other things that you need, that you require outside of them just being a really good
I
person.
can give a nigga like a typed up like bullet point list.
Yeah, like an application.
Yeah.
Like, here, fill this out. This is a survey. I'm just surveying niggas, taking applications,
surveying niggas,
figuring out who fits me best, and then I'm gonna take it to my therapist. She's gonna run through it with me, and we're gonna figure out who's my best match.
Yeah, because I need that. What's your what about yourself? What are your your love languages?
My love language is physical touch. That's like my top one. Like, and honestly, I think that's why I'm so I don't want everyone to touch me, because my love language is physical touch.
Yeah, so it's
I take it very, very seriously. So when I'm very intentional about how people touch me, like, I don't let everybody give me handshakes. I don't let everybody give me hugs.
This reminds me when I tweeted that shit. And
I don't have sex with everybody because like because physical touch is my love language. Sex is actually really means a lot for me, and it is a very powerful thing for me personally. I understand why it's not to other people, but for me, yeah, like it's a big fucking deal, and that's why I just don't go there with a lot of people.
I feel that.
Yeah, so yeah, if you ever got the chance to touch me, you're welcome, and hope you had fun.
I fucking did.
I'm sure you had fun. But yeah, and then I would say quality time. Gift giving, not that big for me, but you need to get me something because I am an egomaniac, and I feel like that's how you stroke my ego.
Yeah. I like to let people know that I'm thinking about them. So I just do like, whether it be something little or something like that. Like even me, I feel bad now that I didn't bring you anything to eat. Because normally I would, you know what I'm saying?
Girl, I'm finna go to Publix right after this. Give me a sub.
I'm crying. I realized that though. So like I thought about that. I've been thinking about that though. I was just like, damn, like I feel like a lot of people don't really know their love languages, and they think that it's just has to be.
A lot of people don't read.
Exactly.
So yeah, how would they know?
This is fucking facts. This is facts. This is why people just don't know what they like, and they expect people to read them, and that's why a lot of people have so many hiccups in their relationships. They don't really know what they like. They don't know how to touch themselves. They don't know how to be. Yeah. They don't know what intimacy means for them. They go off of what they feel like things are supposed to be like because of how they're raised, or whether it be like societal, you know, like ingraining or whatever. Like you need to learn what you like. You need to learn how to love yourself outside of your attachment to other people, because then you'll have better boundaries to set. You'll know, you know what I'm saying? You'll understand yourself more, so people can't try you and shit. But
I want to just touch on a few topics before we get the fuck out of here. But
it's word vomit.
So I haven't seen this interview, but our producer pulled this up, and he basically was saying that Jermaine Dupri has an interview where he talks about women being more attracted to him after they knew that he was dating Janet Jackson.
I hate
and I'm like, what is proximity? Like, I understand, like, how does proximity to like certain things and association with certain things just like play into other people's like attraction? Like for me, like I can't say that there's too much value in your proximity to someone that would make me like want you. I feel like that's
the only person you can be in close proximity with is Queen Latifah. That's the only person that I'll probably.
Queen Latifah. I'd do anything to have a conversation with her. If you Queen Latifah security guard,
I might fuck you. But if aside from that, I'm not like. I've never been one of those girls. Remember when I was in high school, there was one boy who literally this nigga was like the end all be all. Like he was swimming in bitches.
Oh
and he was just like, yo, Nick, why you don't ever want to talk to me? And I was like, nigga, you ain't got nothing for me.
Yeah.
You like, you know what I'm saying? I've never been that type of girl.
You're just not my type, bro.
I never been that type of girl, but I hate to say this. I'm a girl's girl. We are girls, hers and hers. But some of you ladies
people
is
be
dumb.
Wrong, and it's okay.
Some of you girls is dumb. Just because, and I think that happens a lot.
Even
That's why
though men are wrong more.
Men are wrong.
Women are wrong sometimes.
Yes, but it's like if you are more interested in a man just because he's surrounded by a certain woman, that means you either are attracted to that woman or you have some
you idolize that person in
you might
some
have
way,
some deep-seated
and
shit.
I don't know how healthy that is.
Because there's never a nigga who was loved by other women that made me like, ooh, Pootie Tang. Like there's never been a nigga that's made me so compelled to want to fuck him because of his proximity to another woman.
Yeah, another thing that's been coming up a lot, speaking of like proximity and just like exes and stuff. Love you, Rihanna. I hope I don't offend you with this conversation, but Rihanna is pregnant. Rihanna is pregnant. Everybody guessed it. She never confirmed it to this day.
They tried to tell me we had a party on Saturday. I'm rubbing this in the ground.
Rihanna still has not confirmed that she's pregnant.
She keep posting about that lipstick.
Until Rihanna says she's pregnant. I know she posted the belly. That don't mean shit.
Yeah, because I would wear a fake belly.
Eating good.
I would wear a fake belly too.
No, you're crazy.
Yeah, I would also fake an engagement for free drinks. But I'm not a good person.
I have done that.
We're not good people.
Indeed. But I would not fake a pregnancy. And Rihanna's pregnant, if you didn't know. And what has come up is her exes. Her exes are being mean.
What Drake? Yeah, what did Drake? Oh, you said memed or mean?
Memed. Made. They are being made. And there is a lot of Drake content going around where he like looking at his phone and then it pans to like a light-skinned hand holding a phone looking at the pictures.
But I hate Drake.
He hasn't said anything. He hasn't done anything wrong. What has he done?
Drake.
I really like Drake because I am a Scorpio and I do relate to his music. Unfortunately, some of the darkest parts of my heart and spirit you know, I feel like I get to express it through Drake's lyrics, and I feel Future as well. You know,
no, Future, yeah, I resonate.
Some of the
I resonate with that
things
nigga.
that I think
Bitch, don't
he
get too
says.
Like, shit hurt that shit. Felt that shit.
Exactly.
But no, Drake is that. I'm not. You know, Drake a bitch ass nigga.
Relationship with all my bitches.
But you know, but Drake is a bitch ass nigga. So I'm just like him saying.
I know that he's probably gonna rap about it eventually.
Probably.
He's in the studio right now.
That nigga looking for producers on the streets of Atlanta right now.
So really what we wanted to talk about was like, how do your exes define, like, or how are you defined by your exes, and how important are they in like how your future relationships can be?
That's not fair.
Okay, well, I'm gonna answer. I feel
That's
like
not fair.
I feel like it depends on how impactful. Damn, that is a fucked up question. I'm just now realizing.
That's not fair. Cause the bring up a nigga you dated when you was 18. Should that be a reflection?
I genuinely feel like sometimes I do feel like trauma, the way that trauma works is like when you've experienced, the way that experience works is when you've had certain experiences with a certain person, you associate things in that moment, smells, colors, vibes, you associate them in future arguments or future conversations, and sometimes you can be triggered. So I do feel like your exes can shape your future relationships, but I don't feel like they should define your future relationships. Ooh. Like, I don't think Rihanna, I don't even know if she was in a relationship with Drake. I don't think any of us know. She never confirmed that either, which is why I fuck with her, because she never confirms or denies any allegations.
You give a nigga one PP touch and now he think you your husband. Like,
and why would you confirm or deny allegations that for people who, it's like, mind your business, bitch.
But not only that, but I also think that when it comes to exes and stuff like that, I think that I hate to say this, I think that it's discriminatory when it comes to women, because so much of our sexual partners and so much of our sexual experience and our romantic experiences follow us when they shouldn't. And I think a lot of stuff that
nobody talks about ASAP Rocky's exes. He dated Chanel Iman. She's like one of the most famous models in the world, and she has a baby now.
3
with
kids.
Another man.
Two kids now, I think.
And nobody's saying anything to him. Nobody's bringing up all his exes.
To me, they're just learning experiences. Like, a lot of the men that I dated a few years back, I literally blocked one of my exes today. We weren't even exes. We probably touched butts once. And I think that a lot of times, like, people try to hold you to what your past and stuff like that. But in my opinion, in my personal experience, my past are just reflections of where I was at mentally. In that moment, I was living, learning, and operating at the capacity that was most familiar to me. Yeah. So I did not know how to really love or really be in a relationship when I was 18 or 19.
That person was
literally, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of the niggas I dated when I was 18, 19 could not touch me now, and that's because I'm a different person now. Yeah. And I feel like, of course, and it's fucked up. I think this is what I'm scared about the most. It's like when you become a celebrity or a hyper visible person, it's like that shit follows you when it shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rihanna probably made lots of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now she's happy and pregnant.
Hers were just publicly. Exactly. Because she's been in the industry since she was 16.
I hate to bring this bitch up, but the same thing with Kim Kardashian. Like, niggas will not let her live that sex tape down. The bitch is a lawyer. Yeah. She is a lawyer. She's literally a lawyer with 4 children now, my nigga. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? But niggas keep saying, oh, you're a whore, you're a slut. She's like, damn, like, at this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, when am I going to stop being demonized for my history? And I feel like for
Kim K, I don't know what her sex life even looks like other than the sex tape, right? And a lot of us don't.
We don't know.
And we know people that she's dated, but we don't know if she had sex with them.
Same thing with Lori Harvey.
She may have had just as much sex as the average human. She may have only had sex with the 10 people that we know of her dating. And for her to be she's in her 30s, having 10 partners, that's really not that fucking crazy.
I know at least 5 men who were in high school with me and who I've gone to high school with.
20 bodies in high school.
Let's not even talk about that. There was a guy who had slept with over 200 girls. And we were 16, 200 women, and he was 16. He was going out of state.
And I bet he's married with kids and nobody brings it up.
This nigga is married now, and now everybody's like, what's up, bro? Nah, nigga, you're a slut. You're a slut.
You're a slut.
You're a whore. But it's like, let me fuck one nigga, and that nigga's like, oh shit, I fuck Nick. Now I don't fuck the whole goddamn East Atlanta.
And I was gonna say, and it's so annoying the way that I feel like the way that men discuss sexual partners. Because I feel like if you've had sex with someone who has even been in the same room or has a mutual friend with a new guy that you're sleeping with, they might feel powerful in some sense.
Them niggas will try to dap him up.
Yeah, like they're holding something over this guy. Like, I know something you don't know, head ass. It's just really lame. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I smashed her before. She mad decent. To me, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not about to go up to a girl. Why are you telling this random man that you have only met 3 times that you're sleeping with me? I might not even talk to this dude.
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Some of you niggas I did fuck 3 times. And I have a rule. If we fuck 3 times, the 3rd time lets me know that you're not good at fucking. So if we fuck 3 times, we just fuck 3 times. I need to know by the 3rd time if you're good at it.
If I'm done with you after 3 times, that means it really wasn't hitting for shit.
That thing was.
You should be my man by now, but you're not, which means that thing is not banging.
Every nigga that you know what I'm saying? I'm not the type of woman that's gonna just jump into certain stuff. Like, if I like it, I don't really like guys like that. So it's like, if I end up liking somebody, I obviously saw something in him. So if you got some coochie out of me, shit, nigga, you know what I'm saying? You don't beat the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, good for you. But it's like, I don't understand that, because I'm not about to go up to a girl and be like, oh, by the way, and I know you girls like to tussle, but I fucked your nigga 3 years ago.
I really hate and he was in my DMs, and then they show me the DM and it says like March 2015. I did not even know that nigga. I did not know him.
I will never understand that.
Actually,
the only time I would tell
why can't we just be friends?
Bruh, the only time I would ever tell another girl about a nigga is if that nigga is an abuser, or if he has physically harmed me, or
if we're still fucking.
Yeah.
If we are still fucking to this day,
I'm not married to him. I don't do that woman to woman shit.
I'm under the impression that you don't know. I might say something. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
or I could just do what I'm thinking, which is stop fucking that nigga once I find out. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
I don't know. But how much responsibility do you feel like you hold of your current partner's exes or your current relationships?
What do you mean?
Like, do you feel like you hold any responsibility for their past traumas? Like, do you feel like it's your responsibility to be like, hey, like, I know I'm not responsible for these traumas, but I'm the person dealing with your triggers from those traumas in this moment. So
you mean
going to, you know, like,
so if my partner might have been triggered by a past relationship, how responsible am I?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a really good question. Oh my God.
Shout out to our producer, Tyrone.
One thing about Tyrone, he gonna be thinking, bitch. Okay, the only Aquarius nigga that deserve rights outside of Kid Cudi and my puppy. I'm trying to think.
And Kid Cudi, we're still thinking about him.
You're on the fence.
I mean, he's the way I like that he's doing his makeup, but I would like him to actually beat his face.
Oh yeah,
and stop
that
just
shit.
Slapping shit on there.
High key mid, Miss Cudi, but I would say this.
Miss Cudi. Miss Cudi. Okay, go ahead.
I feel like when it comes to that type of stuff, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, when you're dating somebody, or when you're even if you're friends with somebody, like, you're not necessarily responsible for their triggers, but you can only help somebody with things that they make you aware of. I think I was talking about this.
Yeah.
So I was talking about this on Twitter a while back. It is not my partner's responsibility to take on what I've been through, but it is their responsibility to show up for me how they best can.
Once they're aware
of what I've made them aware of. So it's like, if I'm dating somebody and they might be triggered by something, the best thing that I could do is try to fill in the holes of those triggers and try to figure out how I can best make them comfortable.
What even triggered you? Like,
exactly.
Okay,
let's get to the. I'm the type of person to where I want to get to the root of stuff. I'm triggered by a lot of different things that happen to me in relationships and stuff like that. And the person that the people that I do date, I try to make them aware of certain stuff. I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, I've experienced certain things. I've been psychologically abused. I've been verbally abused before. So it's like, certain things that you say to me might not digest okay with me. And that doesn't mean that I necessarily have a problem with you. That just means that you might have to use a little bit more TLC when it comes to you taking care of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I will never make that somebody else's responsibility, because a lot of what you deal with those are just things that you have to sift through. Those are your suitcases to carry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody is loving you and somebody wants to be in your life, you have to make sure that you are going to be receptive of them not always understanding where you're coming from. Right. But if I've made somebody aware of what I've suffered and what I've experienced, then I can only keep trucking. I can only be okay with, like, whatever you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be
whatever comes after.
Exactly.
That.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I tell a nigga, hey, this is what I've been through, and he says, well, shit, I don't want to deal with no bitch like that, then okay. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say. I think that it's, okay, I think it's that whatever partner is triggered's responsibility to express to their partners or their partner what they've experienced and like how they can move forward from it. And then I think it's the other partner's responsibility to be like, now that I'm made aware of this, I'm going to try to handle it to the best of my knowledge.
That's exactly how I feel.
But I also think both people have a responsibility to be like, okay, you're not handling my triggers properly. And another person to say, I don't want to be understanding of your triggers, and it's quite frankly annoying as fuck. I think it's their responsibility to remove themselves from that situation.
Exactly how I feel.
And if you don't have enough self-awareness to be like, this isn't working because I'm stubborn in this area, or this isn't working because this person isn't budging in that area, like, leave the relationship.
Bruh.
Like, I constantly hear people say like, y'all do everything but leave. And it's like, yes, y'all actually be doing everything but leaving.
This is definitely facts.
Y'all be cheating, bleaching clothes, slashing tires, setting houses on fire, calling exes,
which is another form of manipulation as well.
DMs. All of that stuff is toxic.
It's toxic and manipulative.
Get out of the relationship. Even if you need to take a step away from the situation just for a couple months, and if you decide to go back to it with a different mindset and more clarity, cool. Don't stay in no toxic shit. Don't allow another person to be toxic to you, and don't allow yourself to be toxic to another person.
And that's the thing. People think that these are the stepping stones to being in a long-term relationship. They think that you have to suffer in order for you to get to the rainbow.
Not.
In order for you to get to the rainbow in the pot of gold. And I think that's the fucked up part about it, because I remember I dated somebody and I thought that we were getting close. And then he told me he was upset. He kept getting so mad with me, and I said, "Why are you mad at me?" He said, "Because you don't complain." And I was just like, what? He said, you don't complain. I feel like you don't want to fight for me. And I was just like, what are you talking about? He was just so used to trauma and toxicity in his relationship that he thought that was normal. And I said, I'm not one of them bitches that's going to complain. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make a note of me speaking to you once and set my boundaries, but I'm not going to beat you in the head. I'm going to get me a new nigga. Right, so I was like, so he was genuinely upset that I wasn't argumentative or anything like that. And I was just like, damn, like so many men don't know. So many men don't know how to really express that, so they stay in toxicity, and that's why they retaliate by stepping out of their relationships.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and obviously people mess up.
Yeah,
but a mistake usually happens once.
Exactly, niggas be serial cheaters.
Behavior, a habit is something that you're constantly
actively doing that.
You're already aware that this is harmful. You don't give a fuck, and you just keep doing it because that's what the fuck you want to do.
Exactly.
Leave that relationship. You're cheating on a person that doesn't want to be cheating on or isn't open to open relationships. That's not the person for you if that's what you're trying to do.
Exactly. And I think that people just have such a difficulty with ending things. And a lot of guys will push you to the brink of you perceiving them as a bad guy. I want to
make them leave me so that I'm not the bad guy.
There was actually a study about this, but I can't find that article. I cannot find this article, but it was saying that men will push you to the brink to where you break up with them because they cannot digest what it means to be that type of to be confrontational like that. Yeah. So they'll push you to the point to where you're over it, or you want to end things instead of them being vocal about them wanting to leave the relationship. Which
just
I feel like
leave the damn relationship, man.
And I've had that happen to me twice.
It would benefit both
in the last
parties,
year, in the last 2 years,
or all parties, whatever. It benefits all parties to just be honest. Yeah. And that's not just with romantic relationships. That's with everybody, literally. That's with working relationships.
Your mailman, your neighbor,
it's everybody. With your family. Set boundaries and leave shit the fuck alone.
Literally, leave shit when it's done. I think that's the thing. People like to beat dead horses.
Quit.
Niggas hate quitting.
It's okay to quit.
But that was me, though. That was me at one point.
If there's no future for some shit, move on to the next thing. Now, I'm not saying be a quitter. Like, I'm not saying be a lame ass nigga that give up on some shit that actually could work if you were disciplined. No. I'm just saying, if it really ain't working, get the fuck on.
This is factual, though, because I've been there before. I was one of them girls who'd be like, I don't want to give up on this nigga. I'm going to try my best. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try my best, and I don't give a fuck if we fucking up right now. We supposed to be together. Nah. If I would have left that nigga sooner, I'd probably have more hair.
Oh, my God.
right? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real. I've been there too. So there's definitely no judgment. This is just us speaking from our experiences, trying to give the best knowledge that we have in this moment to just help people, you know, progress as individuals. Like,
Literally.
and if you don't want to take the advice, oh well, we still finna fuck with you. Keep listening. We love you.
Listen, you could be stupid and still be friends with me. I don't.
Right.
It depends on the degree of stupidity.
I fuck with stupid hoes sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
sometimes I
okay.
too am the stupid hoe. So it's okay.
But okay, yeah. I feel like we vomited enough words for the day.
I feel like we pretty much covered all of the topics we wanted to talk about.
So thank y'all so much for listening. Again, this is Hers and Hers podcast with a special episode of Word Vomit. I'm Tay Nikki.
I am Nik, aka Nik Space.
And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.